Wait, why'd you do it again? I
Whoa, I
was
messed
hiding.
up. All right. Hey,
I was gonna
everybody.
continue, and then I was gonna show up. Then you tried to do it a second time.
How is everybody doing tonight? We're excited to be here. I am Asylum Life, and I am sitting here with
I'm Courtney,
Courtney.
but it says
Courtney
Filament
from
Stories,
Filament
but I'm
Stories.
Courtney. Which is,
All
yeah,
right.
I don't really. No one ever calls me. I guess they do this. Like, hey, Filament Stories, if they are recognizing, like, I guess the brand, but people call me Courtney. Oh, people are here.
Yep, they
Yay.
are. Hey, guys, it is great. Glad y'all are here tonight. This is the third episode of Sliced, and we've got some really good topics tonight. If y'all have been following Courtney, y'all know that she's been talking a lot about VI, visually impaired. Because of her daughter. If you haven't had a chance to, hop on YouTube, hop on TikTok, go look at the videos that her and her daughter made. They're really exciting, and there's some really exciting things coming up in the future. If you follow me, I've been working on websites and teaching people how to do websites. You catch my lives on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I'll have another one this Sunday where I'm helping Indecisive Squirrel to build a website. How are you tonight, Courtney?
I'm good. Brian Vines, hey, good to see you. And Ray, how are you doing, Raybert? One of my good friends from days of lore when we were young and far more video games than we just played a lot of video games. We just played a lot of video games. It was great. Good to
Oh,
see
that's
you, Brian.
awesome.
Good to see you, Elizabeth.
It was good to meet y'all
And
at
wait, the old
Remurf
gamer.
too.
Huh? Wait, what?
And I put it up. Bert said it was good to meet us both at Remurf. So
Oh, he's Bert. Oh, I thought he was Ray Bert. Oh, he's changed his
Bert.
name. He's double Bert now. I knew him as Ray
I
Bert.
know. What happened to Ernie? Oh well. That's an older game, Chuck Skull. I like that one. That's a good one. But it is good to see y'all tonight, and we won't take a ton of time doing some intros. I know we normally talk about what are you drinking tonight, Courtney? What's your poison?
I am drinking. Wait, hold on. I am currently drinking an IBC black cherry of deliciousness. Wait a minute. Oh, it's mirrored. I have to do the
Oh, there you
opposite. I'm
go.
so bad with mirrored. Wait, let me check something.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm mirrored. We're in trouble, guys.
Yeah. I am not I'm being deceptive. This is not coffee. I'm drinking water. Sorry.
Bert, hold on. Hold on, Bert. Holy smokes, Bert. So we met you at Armurf because I saw my
Yeah.
friend Ray Bert at Armor, and he said, "How did you know I was there?" Oh, so there is a Bert. It's very good to see
It's
you
Bert.
here, and I'm sorry I confused you. I'm not mirrored to us. Oh, thank heavens. Okay, well I'm feeling much better.
Okay.
If Brian says
Awesome.
we're
Well, look,
good. All right.
we won't
Do
belabor
we
the
have a
beginning. We have
yeah?
promised ourselves that we're going to try and stick to the topics, and so we've set some ground rules. We have 4 topics this evening. We can discuss those topics for 10 minutes, and each of us has one wild card that we can pull, which allows us to extend a topic 4 or 5 minutes. We can use those. We don't have to use those, but we only have one time to use them. Are we still good with that, Courtney?
We are, because what we found is if we don't do this, then we just go on for a really long time.
Exactly. I know, isn't
Wait.
that right?
Oh my
All
gosh.
right,
Wait,
so
Brian Vine says that we've got members of the Council of Berts here. Yes, that sounds
oh,
very official.
that's I like that. There can only be two. Be only two. I like
We have
that. Usually there's just
100% of the Council
only.
of Berts.
That's awesome. Usually there can only be one, but today there can only be two. So let's jump into our first topic,
All
and our
right.
first topic is
What is it? What is it?
VI
I forgot.
making of the
Oh,
first
yes.
video. So
So,
I think
yes.
everybody was surprised when they looked on the screen one day and you're standing there and your daughter walked in frame. A lot of people never thought that
Yeah.
would happen. Talk to us about all of that.
Well, as a parent, right? And we've got Brian there. Hey, Joe. So we have Brian here too, which I watched Brian Vine's video, so I'm going to talk about him for just a second. And I love his stuff. I just every time he has a video come out, I run and go watch it as soon as I can because I really like his content. I love the way he delivers things, and he's just very informative, and it just does it. And anyway, and also you're funny as can be, Brian. But one day he made a violin, and then he had an expert come on, which I can only guess was his daughter. At which point, you think, wow, here's a person I've known for years, and you don't know that they have children. And so it was a little bit like that, although I do talk about my children a lot because a lot of the stuff that we make, oh, here's a fun little toy, and my children are having fun playing with it. So I did mention the children, but then one day, yeah, and I knew it was going to happen. I hoped it would happen. But my daughter was not born blind. So she lost her sight. She had malformed eyes, we found out when she was 3 years old. And there is a high correlation to malformed eyes and blindness, which we were like, oh, this will never happen to us. But there was an unusual malformation. They really didn't know what was going on. So she doesn't have regular. We really didn't go into that in the video. We thought we could touch that later, or it really didn't matter. But she lost her vision shortly before, and it was a lot of surgery, a lot of going to Detroit when we're in North Carolina, when the Duke Eye Center experts there said, we really don't know. And we were, she was going every 2 weeks. She would have to be under anesthesia in an OR, basically just to look at her eyes, because children aren't going to let you look into their eyes the way an adult would hold still for. And so we found an expert in crazy in Detroit, and he did some amazing things, but in the end, her eyes had too many malformations. One of the big ones that doesn't really affect any of the other malformations, the vasculation, the blood flow in her eyes is not normal. And when you can't get oxygenation to the cells in your body, it is not going to do well. And so ultimately she has very tiny amount of vision in one eye. I think it's form vision. Okay. But her TVI, so that's the teacher for the visually impaired. You have to learn with any specialty, right? There's all these words and everything. So the TVI is the teacher for the visually impaired. She came out on Friday morning as my daughter was walking in, which now she has been checked off by the orientation mobility person that she knows how to get in and out of the building. Let her do it herself. She doesn't need help walking in, which is great. And so she came out and like, uh-oh, are we in trouble? Did we not sign something? Are we missing a meeting? And she said, I have to tell you, we were filling out some information for middle school. She goes to middle this coming year. And I asked me what you can see, because it's very hard. Her retina is detached and are partially connected. And so we have a nice smooth parabolic surface in our back of our eyes, which is how everything bounces in. And we see that cohesive vision piece of information. She doesn't have that. What she was seeing was wibbledy wobbledy. And she said, even if she could see something, we're not sure that it would make sense. But she said, I don't actually know how much I can see, because of a great imagination that I imagine everything. And it really is true. She has a great imagination about colors. She wants to know what colors are like, which is really cool. She'll go into the filament closet. She will go pick out a spool of filament. She said, what is this one? And I'll say, it's this. And she was like, okay, good. I want this model. Anyway, so that was a lot. So anyway, okay. So hi, people came in.
Yes, waffles for penguin. Came in. Now, here's my question. Now, did you come up with the idea of bringing her into the social media space, or was that her idea?
I think it was my idea, but and so we've been doing this for a number of years, but it was my idea from the very beginning, because I started 3D printing. My husband Chris was like, "Let's get a printer," and I shot it down. If you watch the video, for multiple reasons, as sometimes we do, right? And I totally own up to it. I'm like this. Yeah. So, but I came to 3D printing and I found resources that would help my daughter. And so from that point, I thought it would be really great if we could talk about this. But in order to do that, I would need to talk about my daughter. So I turned to her and I said, would you like to talk about this? Well, no. At the beginning, not interested at all. And then she went through a period that was very dark, again, this is not something we talked about on the thing. And I'm watching the time. I'm glad you have, wait, is that 5:05? It looked like it stopped for a second. Yeah. So she initially was about right at 4 when she had this catastrophic loss of vision. And I tell the story, I had no idea what to do, and I was going to get Subway for us, and there was a child psychiatrist office, and I walked in and I said to the person at the front, my daughter has just went blind, can you help her? Said and she went into the back, and the psychiatrist came back out and she said, how old is your daughter? And I said, she's 4. And she said, we can't help her because she's not old enough. She needs a play therapist. And I'd never heard that before. And it makes 100% sense, right? We are old enough to be able to sit down and talk about how we feel and what's going on in our heads. At 4, they cannot articulate that and they don't know. So we got to a play therapist who was really wonderful. And so Reese would play and things, and she would say later, she would take some videos and she was like, this is what this means. And we were like, whoa, it makes total sense. But she was able to help us understand and really help my daughter. So she helped us understand, but help my daughter. But she said she has no idea that this is not what is supposed to happen. She doesn't know what's supposed to happen to a human.
Right.
Right.
Now that makes total sense.
Yeah. When she gets older and understands, she is going to be very angry. And that was partway through 3rd grade. And we didn't really catch it coming on until we were full blown into, she was depressed and very angry, and was pushing her friends away and her teachers away. And she was in trouble at school all the time. And the teacher didn't realize that this is not how she normally was. She's a pretty happy kid. In any case, so as much as we did not want to do it, we decided, because she said, no, I'm never happy. And my grandmother, my mother-in-law was like, yeah, you are. You laugh and play. She was like, Nana, I just pretend because you all get upset if I tell you I'm unhappy. And it just went on and on. And I was like, wow, we need to. And as much as I didn't want to do it, we decided to, the psychiatrist, at this point now we have a psychiatrist who said, we're going to put her on a low dose because she needs to be able to cope. We do not want to make her numb. So we were like, absolutely. And we kept her on a dose. And we told her very start, this is not forever. When you are ready to stop, we will stop. You just need to let us know. Well, guess what? Recently, she decided to stop. We discovered that 5 days ago. I was like, Chris, the bottle from last month is full. And I have the new prescription. Awesome. And I was like, awesome. Reese, did you stop? Because there's a little bit concerned. I don't know. I've not been on, it was Prozac. And so she was like, yeah, I just didn't want to take it. And I'm like, sweetheart, I am so happy that you were ready to stop. But I just was worried there was going to be some backlash from it. Anyway, she's happy. She's fine. And I'm thrilled because it helped her be able to, like at the beginning, she would not talk about herself being blind. And that's what the therapist was like, listen to her talk. She doesn't admit that she's blind. And so she'll joke about being blind and it's on. So I waited for her. By the way, I'm sorry, I did a lot of talking. I waited for her to say, I'm ready to talk about it, Mom. And I was like, okay. And now, boy, is she excited. She wants to do more videos. Awesome. Like after the 2 we did, I caught her downstairs in the guest bedroom. Ray, if you come in the room you and Laura would stay in, and it's piled with 3D models in the closet, so don't bring a lot of clothes. And she was going, and I was like, what are you looking for, hon? And she was like, I'm looking for, and she was looking for a to do a video on, which I thought was really cool. Hey, K2 Kevin. But by the way, I'm sorry. That's cool. I'm sorry. I'm just flying by and I'm missing it. So yeah. So anyway, she is one. She's really it's been tough for her. But yeah, now, she is a. Really
I'm going to end up extending. I'm going to end up extending the time because there's a couple of things that I want to know and just kind of talk about.
Okay.
Now, the first video that you did with her, kind of talk about the planning, the shooting. How many takes did it was it? How did she understand looking at the camera? Those types of. How did you go through that process with her?
Okay, so this is the one that we did on YouTube, but there was like the 13-minute one. That or the short one. Yeah. Okay. No, okay. Well, fortunately, because I was stressed out about this because I felt like this was the most important video that I have ever done in the history of filament stories. At least to me it was. And I was really stressed out about how to do it. And fortunately, I talked to my friend Lost in Tech, and he was like, "Well, I use mind mapping." And I'm like, "What is this mind mapping?" And I'd never heard of mind mapping. And he was like, "There are a couple free programs." And I got a free program, and I was like, because I did software development. I taught programmers how to program. I used to work for IBM, and then I was a consultant that worked with IBM technology. And so I traveled all around the US and then later the world, teaching teachers how to teach IBM technology. Stopped traveling because I had children. In any case, and I developed curriculum. And so I worked in PowerPoint because this is, my kids are older. So this is back in the day. I worked in PowerPoint. And so I was trying to do the episode in order. And I was like, this mind mapping is great because you could just take it and throw stuff out. It was like splat. And then I would like pull, and you pull them together. And it was like some most amazing freedom. And I wrote him back and I was like, this is wonderful. Thank you. And so by that time I got it together, and I had sort of an organization of how it would go. And then I talked to her about when she was going to come on and what we would do. They understand that there is a table here and that there's a camera here. Okay. They have been on this side and they've been on this side because they have like come to get the candy out of the what is it, when they get the samples. And if you notice, by the way, they would take turns. They would want to get the samples, the candy out, and my son could see it, and so he would reach in and just grab it and go.
I remember back in the day, hands would creep up on the videos.
Yeah, she would do like this, right? And so the thought was, what if she's under the table and can't hear? She's just standing there. She just didn't know where it was, so she would just feel around until she found it. And then one time I took her in to put it on it, and she went. But yeah, so they kind of understand, and they've heard us. We're filming, which means be quiet. We're filming. So they got an idea. I think it was, she had an idea, but she had no script. Okay. And that second video that she did, she just wanted to do that.
Hold on. You mean,
okay.
This video?
Hello, Filament Stories fans. This is Courtney's daughter Reese, and I'm here to tell you about the dice dozer. I'm blind, so when I roll dice, it's really hard to know where they go. So there's this awesome model made by Clockspring called the
Now,
that's the one.
If y'all haven't seen that one, go look at it. That was pretty funny to me. Now,
it is.
You said something was interesting about that. How many takes did that take?
One. And we didn't even plan that. We were because I had wanted to show something that was an example of what had been useful with 3D printing and her being blind and us just around the house and in general. And those two were very important to me because it's how I got connected with Clockspring. I had found him and was a patron at that point, but I really sent him a message and it got a conversation going, a dialogue, and we just became friends from that. But yeah, you're in the dark. Is there a burglar?
Someone just came in.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, just make sure you have a cudgel or something there.
You're good. You're all good.
So she knew about those and really liked them, and they have them at her school. And the dice dozer is really cute for like the really young kids, although they're always fun. And and so she just wanted to do it, and she said, "Here, Dad." Anyway, so she just started talking, and that was one take. And after she was done, my husband and I were like, "Okay, so we need to release that as a video."
That's awesome. Now, somebody asked, does she like coloring in? Does she like coloring in pictures?
Hold on. Hey, Boodag. Oh my gosh. Hi. That's Uncle Jonathan. That is Uncle Jonathan. Oh my gosh. Tell Aunt Margaret hello. Ray, that's Buddha. Anyway, sorry, we're back to the Quake 3 days. We're bringing my Quake friends in. Yeah. Anyway, and this is Uncle Jonathan. He held her coming home from the hospital. Oh my gosh, he changed her diapers, man. That's serious, right? Okay, so back to what you were saying.
So Peter Iggy was asking about, does your daughter like coloring in pictures?
Yes. So she absolutely does. And it's really tricky because there are not many books. There's so many coloring books, but you have to have a line. You have to be able to feel the edge so you can get. There are about 2 or 3 that we found, and she loves them. In fact, once she colors them in, she actually can feel the crayon marks. but we figured out how to make. She wants more, and I figured out how a way to print on 3D printing on paper, which is. I'd love to tell people about that. However, I don't know that you can say, let's put a piece of paper down and then have a really hot nozzle come down and draw. Yeah, I don't think I
Right.
can put a video out that because I think we might have some liability. So,
Right. I
yeah, but I
understand.
have been able to make stuff. If you know how to do that. So, is there a community? I see. Is there a community where people can request 3D models that
And
can't
that's
be
our
found
next
on the internet?
topic. And that's our next
Okay.
topic, right?
Okay,
And
go.
so our next
Yeah.
topic is topic number 2, VI and 3D printing. Now you got into 3D
Oh,
printing,
okay.
and one of the things,
Okay.
based on my understanding of what you were trying to do, and you can explain this better than I can, but you are actually wanting to create a community, because we're actually working a potential little spot on the website where you can come find videos and models for 3D printing
And
for VI.
resources.
So
Yeah.
explain that.
Yeah. Okay. So, and put the timer up.
Oh, thank you. And going.
All right. So wait, is 5 minutes? Oh,
It's
you're starting
counting
at the
down,
okay,
and then
right.
we go.
So there are a lot of resources. There are more resources than even I know of, because since these videos have come out, and I still have not gotten, I really feel it's important to respond to everybody who's commented, and I haven't gotten to everybody because every day adds a new level of stuff coming in. But there are resources I didn't even know, like the one I told you about today. What was that one? I
Here,
said, can you put that one up real fast and
let me
scroll
pull
down?
that up real quick.
I had someone tell me about this. It is called touchc.me. Touchc.me.
Right.
Okay, so this site, you can write down there, you can type, it's, I don't know if you can zoom in, but that you can type in anything that you want, and it will not only translate it to Braille, but it's a little hard to see that little orangey thing down there. But it is something you can get an STL for, and then you can add that into any model that you want, or you can just print that out if you want that to be a label somewhere. And that's really great, because Braille is a bit, yeah, there you go. Braille is a bit tricky. Braille by default is, there is, do the drop down. It's got standards. If you notice, choose language. It's got all these
Right here.
languages. We're what is it? American with Disabilities Act, and there's all these different variations. But Braille, the way you learn it, yeah, the way you learn it initially is Braille is basically a replacement. There's a symbol for A, B, C, D, all the way up in the numbers 0 through 9. There are commas and exclamation points, but Braille is big. It's huge. And so if you had to do it like that, it is very big. So how could they make Braille smaller? And so they have something called grade 2. It's annoying. It's just like type 1 and type 2 dice. It really isn't, right? It's confusing, because type 2, they'll call it grade 2. It has nothing to do with second grade. It's just the shortened version of Braille, which I tell people has like ing instead of in and g. It has a symbol for ing. It has something for the word the. That a lot of really common things like you are much shorter, and so it's I don't know, it's not half as short. But anyways, that will give it to you in the proper. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. So
Yeah.
Peter
So
Iggy
that's
was
a really neat
asking
site.
about importing SVGs into the slicer and printing them. Now you did something interesting, like a lithophane. Do you have any of those with you tonight?
I do. Where would
I know
they
you showed them.
be?
You actually showed them in the very first video. If you don't have them,
I
that's
did.
fine. People can
No,
go
I
watch
do.
them in the first video. But it's interesting ways of showing the shape of people and things.
Yes. And that was an interesting project. I do. I need to think. Give me a moment. You talk. Entertain
Okay.
people. I'll be right back.
If you have not seen the video, definitely go and check it out over at Filament Stories. It's on all of her socials. This was really interesting. She worked with a guy who was doing lithophanes, and basically they stripped the lithophane down to just the figures within the lithophane, so they could print out the head, or she could kind of feel kind of the shape of Abraham Lincoln's face and his hat and different things. So she has several different models. Hopefully she'll find them and bring them in. But I know they've talked about SVGs before. I use a lot of SVGs and use those just in small layers for a couple of different things. But that was a really, really interesting project. And those are things you'll start seeing over on the Filament Stories website. If you haven't checked that out, check out the Filament Stories website. And it's great to see everybody here tonight. Glad everybody is here. If you have questions, just put them in there. I'm going to try to get them to Courtney pretty quickly as they come up. And we'll try and get all of the questions answered, but we are trying to stick on topic. As you see, we have the countdown. We have 4 topics. We're on topic 2, and she's back.
I couldn't find all of them. Okay, so let me move over here. Oh, look at the little cute guys. So I'll come back and talk for a second. So what we did was the toy box printer. We had gotten the kids a toy box printer because we thought it would be really cool. And by the way, this for children, it's a really neat little printer because you can get like an iPad and there's an app and they can touch stuff and it just starts printing. And anyway, it's really cute and they had fun doing it. It's a little tiny service, but I mentioned something to them and they actually said, oh, that'd be great. And we did a free ad for them because I really liked them. So they were interested in my daughter. They said, this is interesting. They said, we're trying to get on like the Today Show. If we get on the Today Show, would you guys come up to New York and be on it with us? And we were like, yes. And they said, it may not happen. And it hasn't happened. But in any case, we were available in case that happened. So we worked with them because they wanted to do something. So how could we take, let's see, this might be hard to, oh, Brian, I'm still backwards over here. Okay. So this is George Washington, who my mother-in-law has said she is related to, therefore my children are related. So can you kind of see George Washington, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not a lithophane, and this is a little bit better version of it. Oh boy, it's hard to see here. I get it.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Yep.
See it with the light. Yeah. So the reason we were trying to do it to be so we could say this is, and so she would find the hair. She would say, oh, that's weird hair. Here's another one. This was going to be easier to see. This is one of the guys that worked with in a toy box group, and she wanted to know what they looked like. And so he sent me a picture. And so how did I do this? Oh, this was a trick. This was using the lithophane maker, but I had to figure out how, because with lithophanes, that standing up, because you can print it flat, but then you need to have you have much better, if it's like this, you have specific layers. When you have like this, you have a lot more control and you can do a lot more variations. And so we needed a way to do this, but have it to be not as much information. There are so many highs and lows. We needed very few. And so I had to take a lithophane and I had to squash it. And I had to get rid of everything except sort of perimeters and highlights. But I figured out how to do it. I would love to figure out a way to optimize that. But she, for instance, had a book she was reading and there was a boy and a girl in it. And I said, you want me to, she said, I wonder what they look like. And so I got the front book cover, did the same thing, printed it out and gave it to her in the car one day. And she was like, oh, she has short hair. I didn't know she had short hair. She was also very surprised at what, oh my gosh, Flew Across the Ocean.
Amelia Earhart.
Thank you, Amelia Earhart. She did a big project on Amelia Earhart, really liked Amelia Earhart. And so we got a picture of her. And again, she was surprised at just what she looked like. And so
now there were some other things you wanted to show tonight. I'm going to let you show those while I straighten my camera. You said you had a couple of other things, like some dice. Weren't there some dice and some other things that you were, or you don't have any of that with you?
Some dice. Do, but not right here.
Okay, but not.
Let me think. I do have the dice. I do have the dice. Well, I fell asleep and I was having a nap. It was a great nap, and I woke up and went, and I said to my husband, I have to be down 20 minutes, and he said, okay, I'm finishing dinner. I'll be right down. The dice.
Well,
the dice, huh? No, go.
I was just going to say, well, since we don't have them and we've got about 2 minutes left.
No, go.
Talk a little bit about just kind of the website, what your aspirations for that area are.
Okay. I'm sorry, these guys are so cute. Okay. All right. Well, I won't do that. We'll talk about that in a minute. What I would like to do, there are so many resources. Like another thing that I was going to show that I'll put a link in and we'll put that on there is Chris found a site that you can take any address. Imagine Google Earth, right? Any address, and it will take the street for instance, he was doing it streets. He was just picking random streets, and it will that you can print a 3D version of it, and it does a really good job. He did our neighborhood, and it had all the houses, and it had them just a single raised little shape. It wasn't overly fancy. It had all the streets, and it had the sidewalks, and it showed they had the sidewalks done a certain way so that there was a way for you to say, it's the sidewalk. And it anyway, it was really neat. Didn't take oh, are you coming around?
Is that
Oh
touch
my
mapper?
goodness, here comes my daughter.
Is that touch
Come around.
mapper? Is
Yeah,
that
it
touch
might be.
mapper, Courtney?
It
Here,
may be.
I'll pull this up while you're bringing her in. So
Okay.
that's touch mapper, guys. Touch-mapper.org. And you can jump over there. There's some commercial use possibilities, but yeah, that's definitely worth taking a look at. And let's jump over there, and I will make them big.
So you can say hello.
Hi.
I want to tell you
I dropped Cheerio.
You brought Cheerio.
I said I dropped Cheerio.
Oh, you dropped him.
On the stairs.
Dropped him.
Oh, good gracious.
Well, he landed on top of me, so he's fine.
He seems okay. So Uncle Jonathan is on the stream. You want to say hi?
Hi.
We haven't seen Uncle Jonathan.
So
Colts has a
Raybert,
click pop money browser. Ooh.
yeah. And Raybert asked about you getting into Diablo 4. Is that, or do you have plans for Diablo 4?
I'd love to be in Diablo 4. I would love to be. I don't know. When is it? Is it live now? See, this is how much I'm out of it. Is it now, or we're beta? Where are we into love?
I don't know. Is it live now?
I don't know. Man, the amount of Diablo that we played. Oh, you were Heebman.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
right.
We're sidetracked.
Diablo.
No, you're fine.
What was it? German?
Is this doing anything?
Well, don't do anything. You might hang us up.
So would you rolling the scroll?
Okay, so we have
no, it's still in pre-purchase.
Okay, wait, don't do that. Don't. If you hang us up, I'll be very sad. Hey, would you like to say anything to people? We've got folks on here, and I see you have washed your hair in preparation for. Well, we don't have school tomorrow because it's a holiday.
Hello, I love 3D printed models and especially guinea pigs, and especially guinea pig 3D printed models. And I love what else?
I mean, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we want to do videos on, but we
Asylum can't find them.
Well, I know she was in there trying to find them, and I have to go through all my models. There have been I don't sell models.
Definitely not eating the guinea pig celery. Not celery.
No, parsley. The parsley. How would you dare you eat the parsley? So
yum.
Yeah, I don't sell models, but I really enjoy giving models away. I just find that such a joy to have someone say, really, you can have this? And is it seriously 3D printed? And I'm like, yeah, please have them. I keep printing. You should please take a bunch. And so everything has gotten sort of higgledy-piggledy, but I need to find stuff. And I also ran out of space. No, him. He's already eaten that one.
Which one can I eat? I want to eat one. Let me
okay, take that one. Take that one, and then he's mine. I need.
All
so
right.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a lot to do that we want to talk about, and I'm trying to think, Reese.
We would get 3D printed darts or something.
3D print darts. Oh, right ahead.
Our next door neighbor, Whit, wanted a penguin holding a piece of cheese.
And so many models out there, but that one I said no. And I happened to be talking to you, and you said you tried to get Midjourney to do it, right?
Yeah, I did.
And even Midjourney was like, I don't think we can make that one happen.
Yeah. I was trying to play with it. It just didn't want to. It didn't want to put a mouse in the flippers of a penguin. I don't think it logically understood that. Like I could get cheese with the penguin, and I could get cheese with the mouse, or I could get a mouse that looked like a penguin with cheese. But that was it.
Kind of funny.
So, all right. I am going to move us on unless you want to say something else about 3D printing.
Would you like to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Are you going to take him with you?
Should I?
You better take him. Because if you don't take him, he's really happy for a few minutes, and then when he's not happy, he wants to let you know.
You guys go on to the next topic. I'm going to wait until he finishes this last piece.
Okay.
See ya.
All right, what's our next topic?
Welcome to all the new people who are coming in. Just so y'all know, we're about halfway through here. We're actually about to move on to our third topic. And our third topic for today.
I know what the third topic is. I know what it is.
is, and
I'm
and I
prepared for
have a
this.
little beef with this topic. Have a little
You
beef
do?
with this topic.
Bye.
Tricolor
Yes,
co-extrusion.
I do too.
Tri
You say what your beef is.
tricolor co-extrusion. It should be
Yeah,
tri-extrusion,
I know.
shouldn't it?
I know.
Okay.
Right, sweetie.
Okay.
I know. Oh, I hear. I feel you. So yeah. So co-extrusion came out, and they started calling it 3D Jake was the first one that I knew that had it. Was Magic PLA, and I was like, what? And I went and I ordered all of them because I needed to see this magic. And so they did call it Magic PLA, right? And then so
Hey,
Magic PLA kind of got to, yeah, it was known for it as Magic PLA, but I called it
right.
co-extrusion because it's, sorry, I'm making noise here. It's two filaments being extruded at the same time. And so when they were extruding 3 filaments, then it's tri-extrusion, but they call it still co-extrusion because people today, if you want to find a filament transition that has a red and a green, just 2-color transition, you're still going to
Right.
look up rainbow,
Right.
right? If you're going to look for a gradient,
Right.
if you're going to look for, it's all under the word rainbow because that's what people search for. So that's the same thing. What happened here is it's all called co-extrusion, even though it's tri-extrusion. Okay.
Gotcha.
So this is
Okay.
something that, and now let me just tell this story. I was
Yes.
told that there was
Remember.
tri-extrusion filament that was also rainbow. And I was like, what? And so the brand that I was to go look was this OVV. Let me get here. OVV3D. See this? I'll get it wrong, Brian. OVV3D. Okay. And this is a red, blue, yellow, which is really common, right? Red, blue, yellow. And the thing that, and they were showing a picture of a dragon, like a crystal dragon. And it was really interesting. Instead of having the, 1, 2, 3, it did have a much more interesting look, like it was going through some sort of translation. So I did some prints with it and I checked the orientation. Let me hold it like this, right? Because I'm going to do this. I checked the orientation of this. Now they've got the blue over here and the yellow over here. And I checked over time to see if that stayed the same, because what if slowly over time, as they were making it, it was rotating around? That would make sense. But no, it's not. Aside from having some little bit of inaccuracies and how it's produced, that you got off a little bit here. It's the same all the way through. So is this one. It's the same all the way through, this OVV3D, but something was still happening. Something was happening and it was doing something different. So then I was told, and by the way, OVV3D is Locky Fins. I'm not sure why a company who was relatively new, who was getting known for having interesting color transitions and stuff, would start a new line, but yeah, this is Locky Fins.
Right.
So then there was a new company that's come out with, and no, it's not a new company. It's Zero. Sorry, this is definitely not a new company. Zero 3D, right? So Zero 3D. And again, if you look at it online, this is a tri-extrusion with red, yellow, and blue. But what I'm hearing was, in this case, it's really doing a lot. Now, can you pull this up on your site? Can you bring up, go to Amazon and bring up Zero 3D and look for this, and you will see it. Do you know?
Yeah, I'll look for it.
If
Yeah.
you can find it, you'll see it because it's got a bunch of pictures. And what it looks like, it's very confusing on the, and I really feel like there should be truth in advertising with 3D printer filament. And so I thought, is this true? But it really looked like, the more I looked at it, that it was potentially accurately showing what you'll see. It's got rocket ships. It's got, you'll see this model because I printed this model because that's what they were showing.
I'm looking around. There we go. Found it.
Yeah, you got it?
Yep.
What do I do with schools are almost empty? Yeah, okay. But click on into it. Oh, wait, that's not Zero. Wait, that's OVV3D.
Oh,
go to
you're right.
Zero.
That's weird.
zero 3D, and then look for, what do they call it? Tricolor silk. Oh,
Yeah, that's
Aurora.
it.
Tricolor Aurora.
Yeah, I thought I had it. I'm gonna take it down while I look for it.
Okay. So what I did was I took the zero that I had because I was like, I got to find out about this. I took the OBV3D, and then I took, and unfortunately, this is not the most ideal. This is GNP, and they were coming out with color pretty early on. And the reason this isn't a great example is because tension on a smaller spool than there is a bigger spool. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to print the exact model that they had, this model, and I wanted to make sure that I had the filament coming straight in so that it didn't have any bias. So back here, this is a Prusa Mark IV, and I could put, let's see if I can show you this. I could put it here, right, on this side, and it would come in, but it's still not perfectly centered, right? It's still off as it was doing this. So what I did was I brought the filament all the way across here to the desk, and I lined it up on the desk so that it was going straight back. And I was watching all the way down, the line of the filament, and it was pretty much going straight in. So it didn't have any pull left or right. Now, typically it's not a problem because these filaments are not circular. They are slightly oval. And yeah, that's it. And they're slightly oval because you want, as it goes into the extruder, if it was round, it would just sort of flop and rotate around. But if it's oval, it will sort of stay it'll try to stay in the path of least resistance. Okay, so here's the model. So what is this? This is pictures taken of a single print. That's what they're trying to show. So if this is, yeah, if you, and that's the same thing. This should be one single print. What they're trying to say is, and wait, go to the next one. Keep looking. Keep going to the next one. There's ones with. Go to the anyway. Keep clicking through. Two back. Right, yeah. Okay. So see down at the bottom how there's. No, we're no, the one where you had the sky. Next one.
The sky.
Yep. Okay. See where they're showing down at the bottom? They're saying it's yellow and we're slowly flipping the spool over. What they're saying is you should be seeing all of these colors. That should be what you can see with one single model, not with, because it looks like, oh, do I print 8 of them or 7 of them? No, that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is you should get all of this with one. Think about how this co-extrusion / tri-extrusion works. Here, stick me back up for a second.
Okay.
Like make me. So, oh, we get to go. Oh, wow, then we could divide it into 3. So if you remember Stefan CNC Kitchen's video when the co-extrusion came out, and he was like, I'm going to figure this out. He was basically trying to see if he could get it to mix inside the extruder. He was doing some interesting stuff with CHT. He had little lines of copper wire going through, and whatever he did, he could not get it to do anything except come back out. It basically stayed in laminar flow, right? So the way it came in, it came out, whether it's tri-extrusion, co-extrusion, which is really neat, which is the way it can do such a way, the way it comes out so very specific is because it stays somehow in laminar flow. But sorry, this is a big setup. What I think is happening is some of these are blending, which is what, if you think about it. So let me show some of this here. Let me show you one of these. I'm going to go here. Okay, so this is the model, and we've got a lot of showing on here. Oh gosh, I'm getting the lines. Oh no, this is actually the lines. This is because this one. But see how it's really not blending? We've got the blue and green. Oh gosh, this is hard to see with the light.
No, it's looking good. It's looking okay. It's looking fine.
Well, let me see if I can turn that off. Getting the blue on there. That's better. Okay. But you're not really getting your blue, and now I've got green. You can see how it's mixing in there, and wow, that looks eerie.
Well, and you can tell the filament turned as well.
Yeah, and that the filament wasn't. That's why I pulled it back. So here we're getting the
Right.
red and blue, it's not mixing really. It's there. This is the GNV TNTP. It just had a hard time because it was this partial spool. Boy, that really reflects. But the one that is this new 0, oh, this is going to be so hard. I'm going to pull you guys back out.
Wow.
Let me see if I can do it
Wow.
here. It really does. You get a purple, and now you get an orange, right? See, I get an orange, and then you go to yellow, and now I'm going to get yellow and blue, and so I'm going to get green. It actually is not as reflective here, and then you're going to go to
Go
green. So
go
what's
back to the other
happening
camera.
is, yeah, you like the other camera?
Yeah, the other
It's better?
camera looks better.
Oh, okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, so let me
You're
see.
fine.
Oh, Brian, I'm not
There
good
you
at
go.
this.
There you
Okay.
go. Now turn it.
Yeah, it looks really weird on mine. So, yeah,
Wow.
so we get a green. So it is blending, and that is what the difference is. And so that's why I was comparing it to the others. Yeah, it's a little, I agree, Ray, it's trippy, right? And so now we definitely have an orange here. Definitely I'm getting an orange, which I wasn't getting with the others. And then we've
Right.
got red and blue, and we're getting a purple. So that's what's happening. Now, I disagree with how their pictures are showing. And yeah, we've got a green because it very clearly says, if you go back to the product description, if you go back to the product description, it says red, yellow, blue. They are not saying that it's anything else. It should say somewhere else in the triple color, red, yellow, blue. It says it's red, yellow, blue. What I disagree with, though, and if you look at the trees, if you click on one of them that has the, they're getting some very earth tony looking colors. I'm not
Yeah.
getting earth tones. I'm
And
getting
that could be color
pretty much.
correction because even the roll looks on the website. The roll itself looks a little more earth tony than your roll
Okay,
does.
okay. So yeah, so I think this is really interesting. And I thought, wow, how can I explain that? And I'm like, live stream. I get 5 minutes if Asylum lets me have, maybe 10. So I do think it is something that we're still having laminar flow, and yet somehow I'm back over here. Somehow, yeah, they're blending. And that's why I wanted to get the exact model that they were using. By the way, this is a great model. If you print this and you want to print it, you can print it without. Of course, I only have one. They have this one. They also have, it's going to be even trippier one that has is faceted, and if you do it without a bottom, it prints
Wow.
faster. And then B, if you have a translucent, you put a tea light candle in this. Let me tell you, take these, give them away. Holiday, people love them.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay,
It's crazy. That one looks so pixelated. It's cool. That is
yeah,
really,
it
really
really,
awesome.
yeah. And there is it does have right here at the beginning, it has the designer. He has his name in there, which I think is great, which
Yeah.
I can't read.
Yeah.
IDK. Oh, I dig 3D. Haha. Look for I dig 3D.
So I'm extending
Anyway,
this 5 minutes unless you're done.
no, we're done. I think well, first of all, do you all have any questions about that? Because
So
that really answered a question to me,
Matt's
which is how can it be
3DPS
rainbow
was
and
actually, yeah, Matt 3DPS was actually talking about using a larger nozzle. Did you test a larger nozzle? Did you test a
no, I
0.6 or
didn't.
0.8?
Ooh, no, that's a really good idea.
I know.
You put a white piece of paper on top of a blue piece of paper.
Yeah. And Matt 3DPS, she loves large nozzles. She uses a 1.2 nozzle, 1.8 nozzle all the time.
I love large
Oh,
nozzles.
that's
They're so
cool.
much fun. But I'm reading this too. I need to go back and read the comments because, folks, when I'm talking, I don't get a chance. I'm not really good at reading them. I'm really bad.
Yeah.
Printed lime and magenta dual silk with both for.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Interesting. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need. I love stuff like this. Okay. Yeah, big nozzles, so much fun. Oh, so
Yeah.
much fun.
Big
Okay,
nozzle,
so
and then push your extrusion really hard, like double your extrusion to what your nozzle is, and you get some really, really, really awesome
extra
stuff.
extrusion wet. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have. Oh, I used to have it in here. Lost in Tech did. He's got some really neat. He takes something and he'll deep dive into it. And he did something about extreme vase mode, and then he came back with an extreme vase mode. And I was like, really? You can just make your extrusion width wider and wider. And I can't remember what it was. But I think it was a 1.2 millimeter. It was a big nozzle, and it was on the mini, the Prusa Mini. Huh?
So the vase isn't back there anymore?
What vase?
There it is. That's a
This
big
one. Oh,
nozzle.
this
The
one?
one behind you, that
Yeah,
was a
this is, yeah,
0.12
this is big.
nozzle.
Yeah, this is big. And this is just a little 3D print bunny base that's tiny, but yeah. Yeah, and this is, but you can really, I was doing 11 millimeters in width. 11 millimeters wide.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
when you try to push that, you have to move it like 3 millimeters per second. So you're moving super, super slow. But because I did it on the mini, and I did it on the mini because you pretty much can, you can see the nozzle really easily. Like this Mark IV, really clear views. And so I was watching it go through, and it looks like is basically like a little boat driving through, because all of it's
cool.
coming out all around it, but I couldn't believe it. Yeah, 11 millimeters width.
All right.
It was ugly.
So I'm going to move us on to the fourth topic real
Yes,
quick.
let's do it.
But before I do that, somebody asked what you do with your almost empty filament spools.
Yes. So that is a really interesting question. Oops. I kicked over.
You have 5 minutes.
Yes, I have very few. Well, if they're empty filament spools, then I take them, I save them and try to bring them to one of the rep rap festivals and give to and give to Greengate, since they reuse them.
Right.
I don't have a lot of, this is really weird, but I don't have a lot of empty spools, and I try not to get them too low, because someday I want to have like the 3D printer filament museum, which I know sounds crazy,
Right.
but that we're going to have like matter comes, right? You know, I'm like, oh, we'll have the matter compilers, and we will not be using filament in the same way that we use it today. And so, because I have a lot of
You'll
filament
matter
coming
compile your filament that you want and then print it.
That's right. Ooh. Yeah. Or we can, yeah. So I have been sort of saving to do something like this spool here, the 0. I might run something else really big on it, but then I will try to save at least half of the spool. And because I have a lot of companies coming in, Akuma Mods, what's up? Because I have a lot of filament coming in from companies. I don't have a lot of close to empty. If they're close to empty, I usually try to, if it's really close to empty, I try to finish them up.
Right.
I don't know. That's a good answer. It's a really odd situation that I found that I don't run out of I don't finish a lot of spools, which is kind of like I only have one of everything. I don't want more than one.
Right. Explain Greengate a little bit more. What's Greengate?
Okay. Do? Yeah. So Greengate 3D, and actually we did an interview with them, and I've apologized. We're going to interview them again at Murph. We lost the footage.
Yeah.
But they have at all the rep the big ones, like you went to Armurf, they bring a big truck and they bring all of your plastic spools, and they will give them a second life, and so they will reuse them and put filament back on them, which is great. Yeah, so there has been sort of a can we bury rich in spools, and somebody brought a truckload of them. They got everybody from their
That's cool.
From their makerspace. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Topic 4. Moving on. I'm going to push us.
What? Akuma?
Topic 4. Yeah, I know.
What is topic 4? I know what it is.
You got a bamboo.
Akuma.
Here we go.
Akuma. Oh my gosh.
There's been, if you saw Courtney's video today, there have been some filaments that look really, really similar that have come out lately, and Courtney spent some time with them, and she's going to talk us through what is going on with them today. I believe the color is called burnt titanium.
Yes. So, yes. And hold on, I'm going to cut my head off. Let me bring some stuff in here. So these are they look like little boxes. First of all, I'm going to bring this stack of, hold on, it'll be noisy for a second. Can we get this here? I'm going to bend it down so I can get some table in here. Okay. And so I'll have this, but these are just these cute little things. So this is back from Amelin colors here, but they are based with black, and then they have a heavy basically it's glitter, very fine glitter and somebody jump in if I've got this wrong,
Okay.
right? And there's gold with black. We've got a green with black, a purple with black, and a blue with black. Now, this blue with black looks, I was like, well, that's the spitting image of. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, this came like this in a box from Amazon. And I'm like, oh, I'll do it. Yeah. And it's sold out. And anytime, like some of these companies like Amazon, if it's sold out, it doesn't exist on Amazon. So I cannot link to it, right? I have the link. When you link to it, it goes away and it links to something entirely different. So I had, let me do it here, back to here. I have burnt titanium here. This one, oh my gosh, Brian, I need your help. I have burnt titanium here. I have another burnt titanium. No, this one is Dark Magic. The second one is Cookie Cat Dark Magic. This first one here is Sparta 3D in Canada. And then this one is the actual burnt titanium. The first one that I got that is Flash Forge. They also have what's Flash Forge's best buddies that they're work together. Voxelab and Flash Forge, those are the same thing, right? And then there is this fourth one here. And so it seems all very similar. We've got the here. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to print the same thing out with all of them. And I printed these cute little, because I was like, well, let me print something cute. And I printed these. And I do really think these little, they're just adorable. They're these little things. You can put this little top in it. And they're just cute as can be. And then you can stack them. It turns out that was a dreadful way to show it off. This is what I did before. And these guys are so cute. Taking and printing it in two opposing colors.
Speaking like a box buddy.
Yeah, it's like, right. So let me go back here. Speaking of lithophane maker, this filament, the purple one, is lithophane maker has something called American Filament. By the way, don't put the word filament in your company name. Anyway, American Filament, and they sell it. It's actually quite pretty filament. And then the orange is a protopasta. But this, they look adorable. I really like this model. It did not turn out so hot with these little guys, as cute as they are. So I went back and I was like, I'm going to do the thing I always do, which is I'm going to print some vases. So
vase mode.
I know. Can you believe it? Courtney did vases. So we are trying the hardest. And you and I, JC, we had this model that was beautiful. I can't grab it because I don't know where it is.
Oh, yeah.
At Armor that Geek Toy Box came by and gave us and left it. We thought the whole time that it was the Cookie CAD, and it turns out that it was the Flash Forge. So all four of these, and they just, if you can get them in, oh my gosh, the blue is just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get, I mean, absolutely beautiful, right? But
those are awesome.
Are these, so the question is this the same? We have 4 companies here, and they're all having a back-end company making the same filament. And I'll tell you, because if you've been around in a while, you'll hear that. You'll be like, oh, you know, there's not that many companies that are making filament. It's just a few back-end. And I will say that a number of years ago, that was absolutely the case, because making filament was a little complicated and you need a lot to get set up. Nowadays, there are companies who are getting, I mean, for instance, at Armor, we have Canadian Filaments. One guy, all him, and he got a whole extrusion line. He was doing live streams on TikTok, and you could buy the spool that he was doing then. It was really neat. And so there are a lot more individual groups, small groups making filament. And then there are other people who small batch filament. There are other people. I ordered some filament yesterday from, and I know it's small because they said our new order arrived, and the picture is in their living room with the boxes of filament. So they didn't make it. And then I happened to find out where they got it made from, because I read the same interesting transitions that I've never seen before, just out of the blue. I will track it down. In any case, so are they all the same? No, they're not. So some of them are the same. If you get the Flash Forge and the Voxelab, that's going to be the same. But I will tell you this, as much as they all look kind of similar, these two are translucent because as I sit here and I look at them, I can see very easily
Oh,
through them. These two are not. And both of these, I extruded a 0.4 millimeter
that's
nozzle, but
interesting.
at 0.7 millimeters because I want a little bit. So interesting, but
Right.
these two are not the same either. And I know because and I don't know if we have any Cookie CAD folks here like Nathan of Cookie CAD, but they came out with one of them is Cookie CAD Dark Magic. They did not name it burnt titanium. And so
Right.
they had that. And there was also this beautiful purple. It was a purple with this gorgeous purple. And that one's also been really popular. They came out together about the same time. And he said, we were offered that from the company that provides the master batch. And that's where the big question is
Yeah.
where are you? I can go to NatureWorks and I can say, I want to buy a big pallet, a Gaylord of your whatever. And there's a bunch of formulations that they have of resin, which means just 3D printer filament in pellet forms, right? The PLA in pellet
Right.
forms. You want to get it might be PLA, it might be and then I want to take it. And now I'm going to take it. And what am I going to put in it to make it colored?
Yeah.
And so, and it might be, so Protopasta goes, I mean, they are like from scratch. So if it was a pigment and then there's the black part, that's the pigment. And then there's the glitter part, that's something else. And then there's what do you add to it to make it print really easily? Because if we go straight PLA or straight PET, it's not going to print as easily. So all of those things added in are fine. But other companies, like for instance, Alex of Canadian Filaments, he's not making his colors from scratch. He's going to a master batch company and he's looking at the wide array of colors that they have. He might be buying one, he might be buying multiple and combining them. For his pumpkin spice, he then adds the cinnamon to it, which is, if you've ever seen a video of that, that's crazy. So in any case, so
Yeah.
these companies are, and maybe that this master batch was called burnt titanium and they went with it, which is why multiple call it burnt titanium. But that's why these are different filaments.
Okay.
They just have, so yeah. And I think that's pretty
cool.
neat. Yeah,
No,
I thought it
that's
was
really
really
neat.
neat. And they all are beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. I tell you that.
I have time. I didn't run us over.
I know, right? I probably started the timer late. No.
That's okay. Wait, I see. Hold on. Is
Yes,
it
I was
Matt
going to
3
start
DPS?
asking you some questions.
Spool? I do not. You have filament that's older than mine. I think the oldest spool I have is probably 2019. I have not been 3D printing since 2014. That is really cool. And does it? Oh wow, Polymake R. Interesting. So does it still print well? I remember when. So I used to feel that this is earlier. I thought that filament would become moist and have problems. I was like, oh, that can't be. And I wasn't having problems, but I'm in a basement and my basement's fairly dry, right? Whereas there are a lot of people who are in places and they are having issues. And so,
Okay. Cool.
so I still have some of my really old filament.
Yeah. So now we had a question about an easy CAD design program. Generally, we go straight to Tinkercad.
Tinkercad is for sure the easiest, but it is limited, right?
Right.
But
They were
if
asking
you
for an
are,
easy one.
yeah, I mean, if you want an easy one, and my son absolutely loves Tinkercad. In fact, I did say to him, because, my daughter has been doing all this and she's been getting a lot, and everybody's, he's hearing how people are commenting about how they loved my daughter and he's not done anything. And I said to him, if you would like to come on Filament Stories, I want you to know you're welcome. He is really good in Tinkercad. And if you think about, hold on, Hero Me? Do you know the Hero Me?
Yes.
Yes, that entire slew of extruder things. Those are all done in Tinkercad, the whole thing.
Okay.
Another one, what's the one that Michael
Make it Michael.
The
or
Teaching Tech.
Teaching Tech. Oh,
Yes, that one looks really is on shape. On shape.
on that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on shape. I think there is some. He has done. I am not an expert at. I'm not even mildly proficient. You, JC or Asylum, you're pretty good, but I have seen his videos where he's taken you through a really nice um, introduction on how you would use Onshape and the fact that there are so many other components there and you can share that's all web based. That one looks, especially with Fusion. I mean, Fusion 360 seems to be the de facto one. I tell Fusion is just don't start. Okay, if you are willing to spend the time and want to dedicate to going with Fusion, Fusion is incredibly powerful.
Well,
But
the
I
cool thing,
find Fusion,
if you
go ahead.
start with
I find Fusion,
Tinkercad, if you start with
yeah.
Tinkercad and move into Fusion, you've got similar keystrokes. Matter of fact, there's a way in the settings to tell it to use Tinkercad keys if some of the Fusion stuff is confusing for you. So if you want to move that direction, Tinkercad is a really good one to use. But there's Onshape. What was the last one you mentioned?
Oh, I just said Fusion is sort of the one that you hear people talk about the most. It certainly is incredibly powerful, but I find that you really need to wrap your head around it's a whole different way of thinking about doing things.
Right.
And and you get like, okay, so I'm going to do a sketch and then, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're into like sculpting versus CAD, there's other programs to look at. I know one Alien actually mentioned it. Um, uh, Nomad is a really good one, and it
Nomad
actually
Sculpt.
works on tablets as well. Um,
Nomad Sculpt is really, really interesting. And
yeah,
I think now it depends on if you want to do something like you want to do a clock spring kind of model where you want to have something be very precise, then Nomad Sculpt is not necessarily the way to go. But I mean, you can take Sith Lord Britt, wait, hold on, Creatrix Britt did she's been working with Photos Mint. And so she's been doing some designs and some really neat designs too. And she's been using Nomad Sculpt. So she started something with a blob. You start with the ball, and then she
right.
did some stuff and then she did the pass it around, right? And so she handed it to one of 5 people and said, you do something next. And it got all the way back around to her. And it was something entirely different than what she had expected. But it was such a fun thing to see it go the way around.
Did she put that model up somewhere?
I don't remember. Hey, Pez Liz.
I don't remember where Creatrix puts her models up.
Oh no, they're on. She's on. It's on. Yeah.
Patreon. Yeah. Photos is Patreon.
No, I think it's Cults. No, Cults.
Oh, Cult.
The other one, I put a video up about her monster jar, which I thought was so cool. Oh my gosh, I was so bad at the bamboo. Oh, it's crashed, and I was like, I cannot waste another. I'm just going to do a video on this because I really like that model. Oh my gosh, I heard Sorcerer's Red. Yes. So I found out about that at Armorf that Polymaker had. I mean, their booths just keeps getting bigger and bigger, which I think is really cool. And they have their little models, and you can see how many colors of filament they've had over time. And they have not one but 2 filaments that are exclusive to Australia. And I think one is sold out, but the other one is Sorcerer's Red. And okay. I happen to have it. Someone sent it to me. I did not expect it. And I opened the box and I was like, oh, yeah.
That's funny. Let's see.
So, and I know we've got so much going on here. I am so sorry. I get to chatting. And if we have missed questions, make sure that
I've been watching.
You haven't? Okay. Cause I want to make sure that if we haven't said hello and what, wait, we got to, oh, yes. See. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm going to go. I have to go hug it because I love it.
Okay. Hi, guys. It's me, Asylum Life. How are y'all? Not been being thrown out here. Now, thank y'all. If you have any questions, we're going to stick around for a little bit longer. We've just kind of been going through. If you've missed it, you got to go back and watch this episode. We talked about some VI stuff. We talked about a couple of different filaments. We're kind of summing this up if you're just kind of coming in. But ask any questions you have for her. This is the time that we allow for questions. So jump on in. Pezliz, how's it going? Good to see everybody. See if we got any, just running through questions real quick. I think we're good.
Look,
all right. Let me give you the screen. It's all you.
It says thank you. It says thank you. And then it said something. Oh, happy printing. Look at that. It says happy printing. So it's some friends of mine that sent it to me. I'm so excited. Look at this. I haven't opened it yet. Sorcerer's Red. Now this is Polylite, right? Yeah, this is Polylite.
Right.
Yeah, which is also great. Although, man, Polyterra. I remember Clockspring and I had just found Polyterra because it was fairly new. And he said, we should do a model together. And that means that Clockspring's going to do a model and that he's going to, I don't know how we did it together. I just printed them and was like, this looks, anyway. And so we released it. But at the time, there were not many colors of Polyterra, and we bought every single one. I think there were like 9 of them. Yeah. And the weight, there was no like donut, because we did the donut box and there was no donut-y color, but the orange worked perfectly.
Yeah, the orange worked great. I thought it was really, really good. Let's see many other questions here.
I just see K2 Kevin and I see Bob and Pezliz, I know, and Brooke Studio. I just haven't said, and CJ's Hobbies.
You remember Romper Room? Am I the only one who remembers Romper Room?
Oh, I remember Romper Room.
The lady at the end with the mirror looking through, going, I see Bobby, I see Pezliz, I see K2. Sorry, that just, I don't know why it hit me.
No, I remember that, yes. And not freaky at all. I see Peter Iggy. Yeah,
I know.
That's good. Yeah. Have I thought about collaborating with a company, produce your own filament? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, we need a magic mirror. Oh, yes. You know what? I've had a couple companies talk to me about it. And the weird thing was the first time that came up, I was like, what color would I pick? Because orange is my favorite color, but I don't know that. And I was up at Protopasta and I was doing some work with them and it was just us. And I got to like make something. I got to make a filament on their line, but I didn't really know what to do. So I just put some stuff together because Alex was talking about how I made it and I made an orange. But at the end, he was like, congratulations, you just recreated Citrus Sunrise Orange. And I was like, okay. But gosh, I don't know. I would love a rainbow, right? That would have all the colors.
All of those colors. Yeah.
So that's tricky. And it would need to be a gradient, right?
Yes.
But there's most lines. Yeah, most lines that are able to do gradient filaments, I think they have like 5 gravimetric where they're dropping in the pellets. And I think they have 5 channels. So I think 5 would mean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I would. I know, Pezliz, I would love to do this. So I think if you look at it, it's also in the wrong order, right? Because we've got orange. Hold on, I gotta look. Yeah, we've got orange on two sides.
Yeah.
Right, and so I would have to think. I would love it, but yeah.
Yeah.
See you at Murph. K2 Kevin.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. 3 more weeks.
Oh my gosh, 3 more weeks. I need to get printing on stuff. Woo! Oh my gosh. Yeah. I do have. Oh, I'm going to do a video. I'm really excited about this.
We will have a table.
We'll have a table. Okay.
We're going to have a table. Now we have to fight for a table just like everybody else. So we're going to run in at the beginning. I'm going to run in at the beginning.
You're going to run in. I'm going to still be driving.
Yep.
I'm flying into Chicago really early on Friday, and driving down. Mount on the wall. Oh, yeah. Depending on where we are at Murph, should I bring the banner or are we just going to be at a table? If I don't have to bring the banner, it'll be easier.
Brent, I've got a thing to put behind us with the banner, but you don't have to. If you don't want to bring the banner, we don't have to.
We'll see. But okay, yeah, I'm really excited about Murph because I've never been to Murph, and Murph is just the one, and I don't know how it'll be because hopefully it won't be like raining wet in the inside like it was that time.
Right. All right. 2 more questions. One question we have: what printers do you have?
What printers do I have? So I have Bamboo, X1 Carbon. I have Prush. Well, and there's that. Oh man, I'm so bad. That is Voron 0.1, but right now it's got toilets in it. Can you see my toilets in there?
Yep, I see the toilets.
That was for a joke, and it hasn't been taken out in a while. I have Prusa Mark III, Prusa Mini, and a Prusa Mark IV. I have a couple of resin printers, and that one right there is a really weird one that we have a video done on it. That is the High Tri, which is a resin printer.
It home with me next time I come visit.
Are you? Okay. The High Tri, instead of like normally resin printers go like this and it sort of comes out, right? The High Tri, it drops down into the vat as you print. It's really interesting. And so far we've been able to get okay prints to it, but I think there's more work that needs to be done. Uncle Jesse did a really good video on it. And we haven't put ours out yet. So we have a couple, an HP printer. Oh, Ray, you do. That's right. And does that print in only 2 dimensions? We got to get Ray to get a 3D printer. Ray has an HP. Yeah, he has an HP.
He still has one.
Oh, is there a similar in Australia? I do not know. Printables.com they're trying to coordinate. If you go, and this is not going to probably have an answer, but Printables is trying to.
Where is it at?
Cool, you can do it. Yeah, they're trying to see if they can be a source where if you have an event, you can at least note it. Let's try community.
Those are the events.
Yeah, so those are the events, and you can sort by. I thought you could sort by location. You might be able to bring a map up, and they're trying to. I don't know if anybody knows. What is this? AU Store Australia. Ooh,
I'm not seeing.
What is this link? No, hold on. Bob just posted a link. 3D Print Solutions.
Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's the source red. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking for the URL.
That's
sorry.
The source for red.
So they're trying to do that. I have some friends in Australia. Like I know that Billy Rubin is in there. Will Angus is there. 3D Print Bunny is down there. Clock Spring's there. And then we've got a bunch of other people that I know.
Our new friends Bree and
yes,
and James. Bree and James.
Yep, and they're down there. And then there's a lady who wants to have a subscription, a subscription in Australia. Like you've got a sample subscription.
Right.
Now I see. Also, there's a question of problems with Cobra Max. So yes, I have had an issue with it, as have you, Asylum, and you fixed yours, and then you said, I know what your problem is, and you fixed mine when you were here, which was great. Yep. So what do you want to describe that?
Feel free to DM me or something, or have, it just depends on what problems they're having. So mine is actually out of commission right now. My fans stopped working. I was printing ABS, and my fans stopped working in the middle of the print, which means heat creep. And so when I stopped the print, my entire nozzle is full of ABS. So I just got the nozzle in yesterday. I am thinking about upgrading to a Humera XS. It's a direct extruder, and it's got those Revo ends. I don't know. I can't decide.
Message Asylum because he can help. But the thing that I was like, I cannot get it. I can't get the level. I can't get it leveled. And you said, I know what it is. And actually, it was great.
Yeah.
You're trying to bring 2D back to 3D. 2D is great. Yeah.
So you need to look at Mamaki if you're interested in that. Mamaki is a printing company. They do inkjet, laser, different types of stuff. And they have a machine right now. It's the that 3D UJ 553. I'm gonna pull up some images and show it to you. You've seen these. You saw these over when you went on your European vacation.
Mm-hmm. I got a roll. Yeah, I know. I see that zombie hedgehog. I'm so excited. I was not expecting it. It was a surprise present. I have Sorcerer's Red. This is like one of those things. I will use some of it, but it will never get finished. For someday that I have like a dream of having the 3D printer filament museum, which is kind of weird, right? Because these things are amazing.
That is a 3D print, guys, and it comes off the printer like that.
And it's solid. It's all the way through. That's not surface.
So it's solid. So basically it prints the model just as if it would with infill, whatever you set or anything. But every time it does a layer, it comes back with inkjet and colors the exterior of the print. So all of the color is on the outside of the print, and you get those results. That's amazing.
Oh, okay. Wait. So if you were to cut it through with a knife, it isn't colored all the way through. The color is just perimeter. Okay.
Only the perimeter of it is colored. Only the
okay. So
perimeter.
Is it acrylic? What is it printing?
It's printing FDM. They've got they have their own FDM that accepts ink, and but you could see all of those. All those came direct off the print. Even the transparencies. Look at that. That one's hard to see. They've got a brain that's really good. There's the foot.
If you all are in a position to go, like we went to Formnext, and that's in Germany, in Frankfurt, and it was massive, 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 right? And Joel I had said something about it because he had been there, and of course he's getting sponsored and everything, but I had talked about it, and he said, if you ever get a chance to go to one of these things, it is amazing. And it just opened my mind. Like we went there, and I felt like everything that we all do and this, all the stuff that we do and know, it was such a small piece of, somebody will send you an article and go, did you know they've 3D printed a house, right? Well, we've all heard about that they 3D printed a house. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in that area, but there were so many massive 3D printers, so much that's being done in industry, far more than I would imagine. If you're ever anywhere that you can go to something like that, go for a day. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm like stuck on Mamaki and Stratasys.
Oh, the Stratasys. I wanted the Stratasys.
J35. That's an amazing machine.
That was we had a viral video that because I was just showing stuff. They had imagine a bottle of whiskey, right? A bottle of whiskey, and then they had a bottle of whiskey, and they looked identical, and you pick one up and it's the bottle of whiskey, and the other one was an acrylic print, and it was perfect. But yeah.
I was trying to see if I could find any of it.
Wait, what? Don Juan said, wait, what? Sweet Spaceman. Hold on. Hugh Forge.
They were asking about, somebody was working on a model. They were going back and forth about the model.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Oh, here you go.
Oh man, Zombie Hedgehog has the Polymaker. You put the Polymaker logo a bunch. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So all of that is 3D printed on the Stratasys J55.
The apples look absolutely perfect. They the piece of pizza.
The piece of pizza.
And you can pick it up. They have it. Okay, wait, hold on. Click the thing that's the little right over right here, or go two more over.
Right there?
To the right. No, where your cursor. Yeah. So those were there. They had this, and they've got a little bit below that, and you could just pick them up, and they were showing ways. They just had samples of different things. They had beautiful, like imagine a perfume container that you print the whole perfume container and then everything about it, and then you could put perfume in it. Although they did, and the thing about that though is, as crazy beautiful as it is, you have to then have the ability to design, and that's a whole nother level of skill. You don't just say, oh great, I have this $75,000 entry-level printer, and the materials are expensive too.
Yeah. No, that's
the Cobra Max.
The same problem.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. If you've got a problem leveling the Cobra Max, definitely message JC. He has the answer. I didn't believe it was the answer. It was the answer.
Hit me up on Instagram or hit me up on TikTok. That'll be the easiest way to get hold of me. You could go to my website, asylumlife.com. If you want to, there's a form there you can fill out. But reach out to me. I can help you with that. It's a pretty decent fix. And
Yeah.
then
He
I
points you
can
to some resources.
tell you all the other stuff I did to my Cobra Max just to make sure that it was really functioning well.
And if we missed anything, guys, if we missed anything and you've sent a message or something, you can always go to filamentstories.com and there is a little form. And I always hate those darn forms, but those forms make sure that it gets to all of us, right? And so that we make sure that we see, that we make sure we don't miss your question or your request. Yeah. So, oh, look at that. That's, you know what that is back there in the back? You know what that is, right?
I don't remember the color.
No, not the color. It is I've just lost my mind. Oh my gosh. Well, it's like I'm tired. Oh, it's
Glad you made it too. Glad you made it too. Well, she
it's such
is.
a special film. I've forgotten the name. Yeah, but I'm just like I cannot believe I forgot.
While you're pounding your head,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit. So, guys,
Yeah.
thank y'all for watching. We're getting close to kind of summing it up and everything. If you follow Filament Stories or follow me, Asylum Life, you can jump over to our website. If you go look at Courtney's website, you can look at. She's got a list of filament companies. If you're looking for filament companies in your area, we've got. The latest posts. So if you've seen posts on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, you can jump over here, find the latest posts. And when you jump into those latest posts, you can actually find the links for everything within those posts. And I'm going to take a pause. I think she's got some filament. What's up?
Pezlis is going, polyalchemy elixir, polyalchemy elixir, polyalchemy elixir. And I'm like, yes.
That's funny.
For some reason, we kept talking about Polymaker so much. All I could think of was Polymaker. But yeah, polyalchemy elixir. I love that. And maybe they'll bring it back as probably Jesse's elixir. Because they own the ability to do that. So yeah, in any case, I love this stuff. Although there's some, this was like early days. I mean, I watched Angus Devison, Maker's Muse, and I was like, this stuff is amazing. And I ordered this stuff from China. And I was like, I must have it. And it was so beautiful and amazing. But there's so many other filaments out there now that are really good. So, but
Zombie Hedgehog. Wow.
I know. There's so much good Polymaker. There's so many good Polymaker filaments. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about 150 spools of filament.
Nope,
so yeah, no idea. So yeah, the other thing is, does Courtney have the model? Which model?
No, Courtney does not have models. Now she has a Maker coin. She has the thing with Hot Makes, Clock Spring, and they just came out with that all of those are over on printables under Clock Spring, and you can find those models. But Courtney does not sell anything. The whole point, Courtney tells me like once a week, I want to connect people to filament and companies to people. That's all she cares about. So y'all are in good hands.
Actually, I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like, because they weren't involved, they were like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, do you too?" And they were trying to figure out where do you fit? And I'm like, "Well, we're trying to get, right in the middle. I want to be the middleman, and so doing that, I really want, because I really was like, I mean, you know the story, right? There's crappy pictures of filament. You can't. What does it look like? I can't tell if it's good or not. And so I would buy it and print it. So they're getting better. The companies are showing their filaments better, but also there's people, you start 3D printing and you're going to get just the very few filaments that are paying to be top promoted on Amazon. And that's all you may think there is. And there's, as you all know, a world of filament out there, literally. Literally. So I just try to do, wait, there's no, a question. We talked about VI at the beginning. Hold on. I got hair everywhere. We talked about VI at the beginning, and we did very briefly say something I want to do is there's a lot of VI and 3D printing. It's just, I don't think there's one place where it's all coordinated. And I feel like to think that we can do a complete job of that is a big task, but I want to start trying to collect resources and see if we can have them in a location that people can find. So that's what I want to do. And we're going to start that process. But that means Asylum has a lot of work to do, right?
Woohoo, I know, I know.
So we're going to slowly work on that. And I really want to add more functionality to the filament company database, because that was, let's see if people care about it, and people do care about it. And so we're like, uh-oh, now we need to add more functionality. So more is coming on that. But yeah, that's where I want to go with this.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Awesome.
and so yeah, and Asylum, thank you for your help.
No
Getting
problem.
us
No,
there.
we're doing good. So, Matt, if you send DMs, I get them. If you send emails, I get them. I will
Yeah.
get whatever Courtney needs over to her. We will get you answers. We will make sure things are taken care of. Feel free to reach out on any of the platforms through DMs or emails, and we'll get it. Well, guys, it is 9:30. We've done pretty good tonight. We stayed on
We were
topic
only
most of
over,
the
but
time.
like a little bit.
I
Yeah,
know.
and
I know.
Matt, thank you, because you're right. I do get a little overwhelmed and I can't get to everything. And so JC, like I said, if you fill out that form, we will make sure that one of us gets it and gets back to
Right.
you. So
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. So we're
So
going to close it up tonight. If you missed the beginning of the episode, make sure that you go back and you watch this. This will be on my YouTubes and Twitches, and on her YouTubes and Twitches. You can watch it anywhere that you follow. Feel free to jump in and follow either one of us. And we do this every fourth Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So every fourth Sunday night of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, at 8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night, I'm actually finishing out a website series where I'm helping a small creator. His name is Indecisive Squirrel. We're building a website, and I'm taking him through that process on my live. So y'all jump in there and
that's
follow that.
good.
Come
I
ask
got to jump
questions.
in, because you took me through that process, and
Right.
I at the beginning was like, what? Why are we doing all this? And at the end, it all made sense. So if you're thinking about developing your own website, that's great to go see. And yeah, thank you all so much. Thank you. And Pezliz, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Murph and everybody else who said that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys. That to me is like the best time ever. I'm like so sad when these things are over. So
Did
I'm
you
going
see
to
who
see you guys
just
in 3
showed up?
weeks. Huh? What? Oh, hey, Clock Spring.
You're
Hey
just in
there.
time.
Just in time. We're doing the wrap up.
All right, guys. Well, we will see y'all next time, and y'all have a great evening.